The hangovers are cured, the champagne bottles have been thrown away, and we have an agonising choice to make now. Do we stay in Formula 3 or do we go up to Formula 2? Hello, welcome to Season 2, Episode 1 of Race to the Top. I'm Ian, and in today's episode we've got all the off-season and the qualifying for the first race of the season, which would be Season 2, funnily enough. We do have a bit of a choice to make whether we stay in Formula 3 or bump up to Formula 2, and I can tell you right now I have already made that decision. Off air, I've been having a quick look at the rules for the two competitions, and it's a pretty obvious choice, really. We've got a little bit of prize money for winning the championship, 3.3 million. That keeps us up. That puts us up to £30.8 million now. And we wrapped up Manager of the Season. And Driver of the Season goes to Julian Falcaro, which I'm not too sure on that, really. I mean, he was predicted to come last, but I don't think he should have got it. I think that man there should have got Driver of the Season, but alas, that's not to be. But yeah, so we do have to make a choice as to whether we get promoted up to Formula 2. And here's the question. Jean Todd is asking us, do we want to go up or do we want to stay? And the reason that I'm going to make the decision of going up to Formula 2, once I've accepted this, I will actually show you, if we go to the current rules for Formula 2, they are quite interesting. We've got spec engines, we've got spec suspension, and spec front and rear wings. So everything's spec, still got the refueling ban. Other than that, it's a bit better for us. I think having spec parts helps us in the long run. It will make it harder to climb through the championship, but it means that everyone's going to be on more or less a level playing field, so we shouldn't be finishing dead last every race. Other than that, it's all pretty much the same, really. So that's why I sort of went up. One of the big things that I did have to weigh up is Magdalena Buller. Her brakes are terrible, developing brakes, but she's got good gearbox. So that's the only two things that we'll actually be able to improve in the season. So that's a little bit disappointing, the fact that we won't be really able to do much with the brakes, but we will be able to improve the gearbox throughout the season. So that's something that we're going to have to look at. Because the other thing as well is it's a 12-race season, this one. We start in Dubai and we end in Doha, of all places. So let's hope we don't have a repeat performance in Doha. But because everything's basically spec, the engines are spec, so like this first race, the three crucial things are all spec. So it all comes down to the drivers in the cars. Do we have the best drivers on the grid? Probably not. The other thing as well is Sauber. Sauber Motorsport got relegated from Formula 1, so they're now down in Formula 2. So we're going to be battling away with Marcus Ericsson and Pascal Wehrlein, and they've even got Felipe Nasr as a test driver. So that's something that we're going to have to be quite mindful of, because they're going to be all out to win the championship, to try and gain promotion back up to Formula 1. So I might sort of edit this, I might sort of edit chunks out of this, because one of the big things that we have to focus on in the off-season, of course, is developing the car, which is what we're going to be doing right now. So we've got £7 million on top that was squirreled away for next car. So we've got a budget of £37.8 million to deal with. So I think what we'll do is we'll go for probably... that's interesting. I think maybe the Renault engine. I mean, I really don't think we need to save money at all, do we? In terms of fuel efficiency, because the fuel efficiency is very weak with the Renault, I think we should be looking for very strong, but then improvability. Maybe we go with Repsol, because they've got very strong improvability. I think we go with Repsol. Material supplier, this will be a tough one. Tyre wear, very strong. Dallara is pretty obvious with this one, isn't it? Tyre heating, tyre wear, very strong, very strong. That's an obvious choice. And then brakes. Again, we've got two choices. We've got Bosch and we've got Magnet Marelli. I think we'll go with Bosch. Why not? Let's see what they do. So as you can see, 31.8 million. So we're only going to have 6 million to play with, which I'm going to put straight into doing up the HQ. Because we're now up in Formula 2, we need to improve things, but we don't even have 8 million. Do we go with the scouting facility, or do we build a forecasting centre? That might be the go. I think we might go the forecasting centre. I think that might be the best option. Simulator, wind tunnel, that's all a bit pointless. I think we go with the forecasting centre. Because spec parts are the majority of this car, we're going to have to be quite mindful during races. We can't afford to have big stuff-ups. We have got some sponsors, which of course we've now got some big sponsors coming in. 30 races at fixed pay. Target position for ING is first place. I don't want to do that. I think we may go Pizza Hut for this one. As you can see, Pizza Hut are on the side there of the air intake. And the other options we've got here, upfront payment, 6.4 million, 6.4 million. Let's go Rolex, just because that gives us a little bit of extra money, and we may be able to, if we get a little bit more money once the season starts, maybe able to upgrade our HQ to, or our factory, I should say, to level 2, which would be quite important for us. But we'll keep flying through here. Yeah. So Joey Mawson is now taking flying lessons. So this driver, honestly, just gets absolutely everything. But he has got a bit of marketability. Now, we have got a dilemma. We've been looking at the placement of the new fuel tank, and it looks like there's a lot of flexibility there. Some small adjustments would give us large gains in the car's overall improvability. However, we have a suspicion that these changes would affect the car's fuel efficiency. It's a tough call. What do you want to do? Provability +1 or fuel efficient? I say we go for it. Fuel efficiency, look, I don't think that's going to make a huge difference to us. So look, with spec parts basically along the whole car, it does mean that we have to absolutely nail our race strategies. For sort of like 9 of the 12 races, we're really going to have to nail it. But here we go. So Julian Falcaro is actually looking a bit upset here. With a rift, yeah. Julian was fuming, said a source from the chairman was saying all sorts. He's useless. He couldn't drive his way out of a car park. He's got worse overtaking skills than my mum. Julian burst right into his office and gave him both barrels. It was a huge argument. So Falcaro is not too happy with our chairman at the moment. Sauber, though, have signed Marcus Winkelhock. I wonder who they got rid of. Let's see if they've got rid of anyone. So they got rid of Felipe Nasr as their test driver. We could potentially even go for him, couldn't we? I don't know, because Falcaro now hasn't really been improving. Have a quick look at Joey Mawson. I'm not thrilled. with either of these drivers, and I think that could be a bit of a problem going into the season, because we don't really want to be falling too far behind, because with spec parts, having a good driver is crucial. So I think if we have a look at some of the drivers, and I may sort of edit some of this down just so you're not watching me scrolling up and down all day, I think we may sort of have a go at sort of bringing in a couple of drivers, someone like Felipe Nasr, for instance, just to give us those, because points are crucial. We don't want to be finishing last. So if we're aiming for ninth and above, and if the better driver we can get, look, like Charles Leclerc, for instance, he's in Formula One, right? As I'm recording this was a week ago that he was racing in the Australian Grand Prix. He's a free agent at the moment, so we could potentially grab him, really. He raced in Formula 2 last year. With 12 races, he got 3 podiums and 2 wins. So I might sort of approach someone like that. Gives us a bit of extra oomph, in the races. So I'll probably cut here, and you may sort of see me with some new drivers. Who knows? I only offered a contract to Leclerc in the end. I had a look, and no one was really grabbing me, so I might really just pursue Charles Leclerc, because we're in a bit of a negotiation with him, so he's going to want a lot of money. So I'm going to keep bumping that up. That's as much as we can offer him. We can't offer him any more than that. But because we've now got that big contract sponsorship from Pizza Hut, that can essentially pay his wages. So I'm quite happy with that. Other than that, he's pretty much happy with everything. The only thing he doesn't like is his wage per race. So I've bumped that up as max as it can do. In fact, I might just go back 1. Let's go. Let's go the whole hob and see what happens. Because the longer we can grab him, the better. What I may do is I'll have to get rid of Julian Falcaro, I think. I think he's the one to get rid of. Just because Joey Mawson's fractionally better. He did do better in the season. So that's why I'll probably get rid of him. We've got another dilemma, though, on this car design. I've got a dilemma for you. We've been playing around with the new brakes, and it looks like there's some room to significantly improve our tyre heating. However, if we do make these adjustments, they'll have a knock-on to our tyre wear effect. It's your call. So do we improve tyre heating with the tyre wear going down? No, I don't think we do, because we don't have the best drivers. So I'll leave that for now. Charles Leclerc, though, it looks like he has signed it. So that's pretty cool. So we get to sign him now. It does mean that we will get rid of Julian Falcaro. So we'll sign here. And in place of, must replace Falcaro, continue to finances. So there we go. So we've got Charles Leclerc in our car now. That's amazing stuff, and I'm thrilled to bits with that. And this will be interesting to really see how much better Charles Leclerc is over Joey Mawson, because Joey Mawson sort of showed Falcaro how it was done, but because neither of the drivers were very good. So to have a fantastic driver in one car makes a huge difference. Falcaro's not too happy about that, and I'm not too surprised, to be honest. I may, at the end of the season, if I remember, try and have a look at Falcaro, see where he ended up, see if he's back in Formula 3, for instance. Now, we do have to design the livery this season, so we do have to go to the workshop, I believe, to ensure that we get the best car. In fact, I really like that. That's a really cool look, isn't it? I don't want to spend too long on this because I know that you guys aren't that interested in watching me picking and choosing. Truth be told, I'm not too bothered. I don't really care what we end up with. I think sticking with sort of white and white, maybe going with the finished sort of blue there, and I think we go for the red trim just because. And I reckon go for grey or black. Go for black. That'd be cool. Just because the Koiranen GP logo's red, so I think that's why we have to go for that one. But I think, in saying that, I don't mind having the Red Bull on the front. That looks pretty cool. I don't want to have too much red because I think there's a lot of... Now, that's cool. Black and white. How cool is that? I think we stick with that one, to be honest. Dark colour sponsors, we'll put them with black. And light coloured sponsors, we'll put it up to white, I think. Yeah, that looks cool. I'm really pleased with that. That's what our car's going to look like this season, folks. We're going to go white with a little bit of black, a little bit of blue as well. Sort of blue trim. That looks really cool. I'm thrilled about that one. So we do have the pre-season testing coming up. I'm sort of hoping, the fact that we got such a basically bought the best parts for in everything. I'm kind of hoping that we can at least get a sort of mid-table car out of this. There we go. So we've got pre-season testing this weekend. There you go. Another dilemma. Me and a few of the engineers are worried about the car's improvability over the course of the season. We've had a few preliminary talks with the engine supplier, and they think they could help us out for a price, of course. So if we spend 1.5 million, we get a little bit of an improvability. Do we go for it? Yeah, let's go for it. Just because I don't want to finish last. That's the kind of the big thing, isn't it? We just don't want to finish last. There we go. We've got the pre-season testing coming up. Yeah, keep going. Here we go. Pre-season testing. This is the big one. This is the really, really important stuff. And this will really find out how good we are. As we haven't even come out yet, have we? There we go. So Leclerc's down in 13th. Mawson's actually kicking his ass at the moment. We're not having any notes. We're not having any engine problem or gearbox issues. But Leclerc's right down there. I don't like that too much. And Mawson's up to 9th. Ooh, Leclerc's not very happy with that. He came dead last, and he was way off the pace there. He didn't do too badly in the top speed. Joey Mawson did very well. Average speed, though, he was right down. I'm a little bit concerned about that. He was 4 seconds. 4 seconds off of Joey Mawson, if you'd believe it. But I don't really know where that puts us. So Campos Racing is the team to beat by the looks of things. I'm not too thrilled about that. So I predict that we will come 7th in the team championship this season. But where do you think we'll finish? Do we aim for 7th or do we aim for 9th? That's the big question. I think we aim for 9th because the other reason, if we go to the current rules, it's the same as Formula 1. Only the top 10 score points. So the fact that we're a back marker will mean that scoring points could be a little bit tricky this season. And I don't want to be committing too high. So what I'm going to commit is I'm going to commit to 9th. 9th, we're safe. We can survive in Formula 2. And let's be honest, in a real selfish way, I don't want to stay with Koiranen at the end of next season. I want to be gone. I want to be up in Formula 1 or even the top GT series or even the endurance series. But we do have Dubai in the first race of the season, which has come around very, very quickly. So if we go have a look then at what we're gonna do, blah 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 blah, as I'm stumbling all over my words here. The next track after Dubai, because we don't have enough time, the next track is Tondola. So acceleration, so the gearbox is crucial. That's really interesting. So what we can do is we can max them out as much as we can. We do have to fix reliability on a few things. Like brakes, for instance, are very, very poor. Gearbox especially is very poor. brakes aren't crucial in Dubai, so I'm not too concerned about that. I think we'll go sort of like 6 and 4 for them. We'll sort of set it up so that when we come round to Tondola, we can just sort of set and forget, really. But here is the race information then for Dubai. It's a 42-lap race, and the current lap record is at 2 minutes, 3 seconds, 3:39. The race is going to be bone dry. Again, we're in the middle of the desert. All the crucial parts for this race are spec, so it's going to be a very, very close race. So any stuff up, like what we saw Falcaro and Tondola, where he ran wide on that first corner and never really recuperated, that's going to be exactly the same with this one. One stuff up and you're at the back of the track. Tyre compounds are going to be soft, medium and hard. We actually get 3 compounds to choose from, and it's a fairly good track for tyre wear. Our car's pretty excellent at that, so we should be able to make the tyres last, which is promising. I don't know what we do, whether we go with softs or mediums or hards or whatever. We'll have to figure that one out. Campos has got a test track, and now they're talking about us building a helipad. One thing at a time. We've only just moved up. Season opener then, so racing engineering is expected to do very, very well this season, or in this race rather. We'll have to wait and see, won't we? And Leclerc is becoming a minister when he retires. He's becoming a religious minister. I don't think so. I don't think that's very realistic. I mean, I don't know. I don't know him that well, but I don't think he's going to become a religious minister in real life. So here we are then. So we're racing on track D today. We've got low fuel burn, very low tyre wear. Practice is going to be a little bit cloudy, but qualifying in the race is going to be bright and sunny. And both our drivers aren't too thrilled with our car. Why aren't they very happy? You're giving Joey a better car than me. I should have the best performance. No, you've got the same car. Quit your whinging. He's already whinging. I don't like him. Let's go back to Falcaro and we'll see for qualifying. I have a feeling this is going to be a very long season. Joey Mawson was dead last. Charles Leclerc was 16th, I think he was. Admittedly, Charles Leclerc was going around on the soft tyres. Joey Mawson was going around on the hard tyres. But the fact that Leclerc was on softs and was only 16th fastest doesn't bode well for the rest of this season. We did manage to get race trim, but that's all we managed to achieve, and Charles Leclerc got absolutely nothing. The man to watch out for this season, this qualifying session is, I've got to find his name here. This is very, very poor. This guy, Matsushita. He set the fastest time in practice, but Winkelhoff and Mazepin as well. He was right up there. Campos Racing, I'm quite interested to see, because I don't really know. I don't think practice was a very good representation, because Mazepin was second fastest and his teammate was down in 19th place. So, who knows where they're going to actually be in the grid at the end of this session, but we'll have to wait and see. Speed balance, we're a little bit off for both of them, but I wanted to try to get some tyre knowledge, but I just couldn't seem to do it. The race is 42 laps, and if we have a look, the hard tyres are expected to last 46 laps. We might be able to go the whole race without even pitting here. Then you got the mediums as well. I tried to get softs because I was thinking maybe go softs, then we can sort of go long on the hards. But I'll have to wait and see what everyone else does. I mean, I think starting on the hards might be the best option and try and go the whole race without pitting. I don't know if everyone else is going to have the same idea as us, but we'll have to wait and see. So we're going to get into the qualifying session. We've got 10 minutes, so we can sort of set two laps here, two times. It might be a little bit tight, purely because it takes about 2 minutes to get around to do your out lap and then your in lap. So it could be a little bit tight. We might only get... actually, you know what? I think I may have to go back out again. I think I might have to bring them back in, actually. I'm going to bring them back in, purely because I didn't think that through, did I? Because it'll take 2 minutes to get around. Oh, I suppose we could... No, I think we might leave it, actually. We might just have enough time to get around. It'll take 2 minutes to get around, 2 minutes to do a lap, 2 minutes to get... So that's 6 minutes. Then you've got to pit, and then you've got to go back out again. So, yeah, all right. I'll take that back. I sped up there because I thought, no point in watching them crawling around. So Leclerc has overheated his brakes. Mawson's can't seem to get that tyre temperature up at all, and neither can Leclerc. Leclerc's struggling a little bit, but Leclerc's going to be setting the first fastest lap of the session. Mawson's coming in right behind him, as Matsushita as well must be right behind him. But we're watching Leclerc with Mawson right behind him. So this will be quite interesting because it'll let us see exactly where we are when we have to go out again. We don't want to be setting time. We don't want to be sort of coming out and being too far behind, because then it's just pointless. Because you see, a lot of teams are holding off. They're only going to be setting the one lap. And as you can see, Leclerc is nearly 3/10 down from Matsushita already, just after that first sector. So this doesn't bode well, does it? This does not bode at all well, as Winkelhock's gone fastest in that first sector now. This isn't very, very promising. Matsushita, I mean, we're really struggling for time here. We're about 3/10 down. And the fact that this is all spec parts, really, in this race, this doesn't bode well for a good season for us, as Leclerc does set the fastest lap. Matsushita, unsurprisingly, half a second faster. Deary me. Maybe we've bitten off more than we could chew here going up into Formula 2. I don't think we're ready for it. But we will just have to wait and see. We will be able to get around once more, as there's confirmation that Winkelhock's gone fastest. And, I mean, Mawson's nearly a second down on Winkelhock already. This is not looking good, is it? Not looking good at all. As it looks like we're just going to be falling down the grid here. Leclerc is 7th at the moment, and he's, that's about 1.5 tenths up over Mawson. And he's holding on to 7th. There's a couple of cars have crossed the line, but Mawson keeps dropping. Leclerc's dropped to 8th now. And we've got a little bit of time left. We may be able to go out once more. We may be able to, but it's going to be really, really tight. We're going to have to change these tyres super quickly. And I think what we're going to do is we are going to start on the hards, because we're so far down the grid. We're not trying to hold on to any position, are we, on the grid? We're not going to try and fight off the cars behind us. We're going to be right at the back anyway, so we might as well start on the hards and see if we can go the whole race. But we're going to send Leclerc out straight away. We're going to do the same with Mawson. Put him onto the soft. So we've only got one set of unused softs for Mawson. But it looks like everyone's more or less going to have time to set another lap, it looks like. I mean, the big ones are sort of like Winkelhock. You got Verline very, very close. So that's Sauber, remember. Unsurprisingly, they're sort of carving it up. They're 2 tenths ahead of Matsushita there. Verline in practice was actually a long way down. He was sort of 7th or 8th. In practice. Admittedly, I can't remember what tyres he was testing. Rubens Barrichello, who must be about 60 years of age, is sitting 4th. So, I mean, maybe we should have gone for him rather than going for the youth of Charles Leclerc, but, you know, we'll have to wait and see. Hopefully that works out for us. Other than that, look, we're sitting 13th. Joey Mawson's 19th. So I think there is a bit of room for improvement from Mawson there. I think Leclerc might be able to just squeeze up into maybe the top 10, because we have gone out quite late. So we are going to be able to set another lap. But it looks as though more or less everyone's going to be able to get out now. So we're going to be sort of the first to finish, and then we're just going to have to hope. We're just going to have to hope that no one else sets a better lap, because, of course, the track is starting to grip up a little bit now. So Charles Leclerc has got a bit of traffic in front of him. I don't know who that is, because I'm still learning all the cars, but it looks like an orange car. So I think if we look, that could be Stippler or King in front of him. But Joey Mawson looks like he's got a little bit of traffic as well. So Charles Leclerc is going to be coming through that first sector any second now. There he is there. So he's 7/100ths down on his own lap time. Or is that... Sorry, that's on pole, isn't he? 7/100ths down on the pole time, because he's improved on his first lap. So is Joey Mawson. Joey Mawson's 1.5 tenths down. So we might see a little bit of improvement here, as it looks like more or less everyone's going to be able to get out and set a second lap. So we could have possibly left it a little bit longer before going out, but I didn't want to take that risk. Charles Leclerc is looking very, very good. Rubens Barrichello's just set the fastest first sector with a 38.5, but Charles Leclerc could be right up there. We've got to be keeping an eye on all the rest of these cars here. And where does Charles Leclerc come then? He crosses a line in 5th. We'll quickly have a look at Mawson, who only manages 14th in the end. So let's keep an eye, as Rubens Barrichello is absolutely flying. Rubens Barrichello is more than likely going to be setting pole, surely. Winkelhock is also going fastest in his first sector. So Barrichello, though, is going to be really pushing this, but I'm quite happy with Charles Leclerc being in 5th place. Joey Mawson down in 14th. That's going to leave a lot of work to do. Rubens Barrichello, he doesn't do anything. He moves to 5th because Malia sets the fastest lap. I wasn't watching him at all. The Swede, he went with 150.8. Winkelhock is the last one going. He's just crossed the line now. He only manages 2nd, and it doesn't look like those three, Stippler, Giotto or Jeffrey, are going to improve on their times. This guy down here, he's the last one. Mazepin, what can Mazepin do? He moves up into 12th place, which pushes Mawson down to 17th, and Leclerc is now 6th at the end of that session. So a bit of a mixed bag there. I mean, I dread to think where we would have finished if we still had Falcaro, because it would have been Mawson and Falcaro propping up the back of the grid again by the looks of things. So, look, I'm not... A bit of a mixed bag there. Charles Leclerc in 6th place. I'm quite happy with that. But the fact that Joey Mawson's down in 17th, that's not that great, is it? And we'll have to tune in tomorrow to see if we can salvage anything from this race. So thanks for watching that, guys. I do apologise because this was a fractionally longer episode, but obviously we did have to get through all the off-season, and then, of course, we had to do qualifying as well. So make sure you pop a big thumbs up on there for me. That does a great deal to help my channel. And I'll see you tomorrow for the race in a very hot and sticky Dubai, where we may be able to squeeze a point. Maybe.